Welcome back to yet another episode of 1001 Thagatchari Gratitude Project of Manipur. This is the second session with Soniya Yambem, who is joining me from Brisbane, Australia. And please do take the time to tune in if you haven't seen for the first part where she spoke about herself, about how she grew up, and we had very, very interesting, in-depth, you know, conversation about spirituality, about intuition, about what what makes the strong voice in you come out. And I'm really inspired by her sharing. So do take the time to look up for the first part of this interview. So this part we are going to focus into the gratitude Thagatchari portion, wherein we get together. We are going to talk about who inspires us, who do we look up to, whose love we have felt, right? And then take a moment to share about gratitude and gratefulness to them. So to start with, I want to share our new card. This is the 1001 Thagatchari card, which has been created. This is one of the painting I have been working on. And I will be sharing this card to all the participants who join 1001 Thagatchari. And this card, which I have it here, is for Sonia. And I want
Thank
to
you.
make a special call out to Sonia for being very, very supportive of our program. And recently we have been, doing a fundraising for palliative care. And I have been working on this project for actually a long time. And it took me some time to launch it, to get it out. And somehow I got this idea that even though I'm not like a, good artist, I got this
You are.
intuition and that, hey, I should be using my art to do the fundraising. And um, I just put it out in Instagram, on some of the paintings I have done. And Sonia has been really kind and generous, and she was one of the very, very first person who made an offer. So thank you. It is
I'm glad I'm able
really,
to help.
yeah, no, and it's like I said, I am not. um I don't consider myself a very professional artist. It's just what I paint from my heart, and to have somebody believe in it, so it means a lot. So Thagachari.
You're very welcome.
All right, and then the second thing what I want to share before we proceed with your nomination is, um, it takes it only special people comes forward to be a participant of Thagachari, and especially in our society where we see that sharing expression seems to have become very rare. So I want to
Yes.
acknowledge you, and I want to acknowledge all our previous participants and everybody who has reached out to me saying that, hey, Chiche, I want to be a part of your show. I want to appreciate my grandfather. I want to appreciate this person. I want you to know that you are special, because the very fact that you are willing to, pause and come to the show and express
Thank
gratitude, that means a lot.
thank you
So,
very much.
yeah, I have made another special card, and this is for all the participants. It is from me to you, and let me read it out. It says, my deepest gratitude for participating in 1001 Thagachari project. It takes only special people to initiate change. You have contributed in connecting and building the strength of our community by sharing your gratitude. Continue spreading the positivity. You are special, Thagachari. So that's what I have printed, a special one for all our participants.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, I'm going to
Mhm.
hand it over to Sonia, and let's hear about your first nomination. Nominate somebody at your personal space, um, whom you are grateful to.
It's really hard to pick one person because I have met numerous people in my life, like as I go along, that I'm very thankful to. Obviously, like my family members, without whose love and support, like I could have never done whatever I have done or go on my own path. But I felt that at every stage in my life, like there were people who played a very significant role. Even among my family, like I have four sisters. I don't have any brothers, but all of them like played very significant part in particular sections of my life. Like while I was growing up in my high school, when I was in my graduate level, master's level, and then when I'm at this point in my life, like there are so many like that I want to nominate, but it's very hard to choose one person. So I is it okay to choose? Is it okay to nominate more people, or is it okay that I don't nominate anyone particular? So what should I do? Like,
Yeah, I know it is difficult to choose one, but my intent is to set this as an example to start practicing gratitude, right? When I say nominate one person, it doesn't mean that you're grateful only to that one person, but just kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
start it. But that doesn't end there, right? We can,
mhm,
at our own, express and I just want to fill our community with more positive talk and, pause and say,
mhm,
hey, thank you. I recognize what you're doing, or I really love, I can feel your love. And that's where I get my strength from. So generally,
mhm,
that's why I say that, okay, let's start with nominating and identifying one person. But to all our viewers and listeners, it doesn't mean that my participant, my guest speaker is only grateful to one person. It's
yeah,
just the time and, like our program setting that we have done. So
yeah,
knowing that, you should at
yeah,
least talk about
yeah.
one person.
So it's at this point, like I feel that the greatest support that I get is from my husband. It's obviously it goes without saying to a lot. I mean, to all of us that our partners are our strengths. Sometimes when you're feeling really low and you feel very less confident that you are not going to be able to do anything, or you are not you don't deserve to be what you are getting, or anything that sort of in that sort of like atmosphere, in that sort of sphere, then obviously I always rely on my life partner, my husband, my friend, my support all the time. As in my while I was growing up, I have had like lots of strengths that drawn from my sisters and my parents. But at this point, for the last 5 6 years, and at present, I'm very grateful to my husband. His name is Andy Mukherjee. He's a patent attorney and he's a partner in a law firm here in Brisbane. And he makes me feel confident that sometimes when I'm like in two minds, like, oh, maybe I should not be doing this, maybe I'm not good enough, then he will try and talk to me and instill a lot of confidence. But he is also one of the most practical person I have ever met in my life, that if he thinks that I'm not good enough, he will straight tell me at the face. And I feel that also takes a certain kind of love to be able to say that, because it's very hard to say to a loved one that no, 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 you're not good enough. But he does that to me, and I think that he brings out the best in me. And I think it is very important that I express my gratitude to him, because of course you often say I love you, but that's different. So
Right.
thanks to Andy and for all his support for breaking the norms of society to acknowledge our love, our relationship, and get married interstate, interculture, religion is the same, but breaking all barriers
Hmm.
and supporting me and acknowledging our love, and in finding the confidence that we will be able to live a happy married life together, and be able to support in each other's careers and bring out the best in each other by being together. So thanks for fighting for me and for being there always.
Wow, that's so beautiful. So beautifully said. So
Yeah.
I am going to send this to you, wherein you
Okay.
can share this with your husband.
Okay. Yeah.
And this
Thank
is
you.
the Thagatchari. And of course, I'm going to be sharing. Sorry, I'm trying to get it from my site. So I have printed a lot of cards. And this are, of course, I know that you want to nominate a lot of people in your personal space. And you can take the time to write, notes of gratitude to people
Mhm,
around you. But this is a
mhm,
special one
mhm.
for your husband. So
Thank
beautifully
you.
said. May God
Yeah.
bless both of you,
And
and
that
it's
card really
beautiful.
speaks to my heart because I talk about the spirituality, and
Yeah,
this is my meditation that I put an agarbatti and I just for 30 seconds I can focus. So that is like something that really speaks to me. So that painting is again one of my favorite. That's really
yeah.
beautiful.
I know.
Yeah.
I had painted. I had tried this painting like two times.
Mhm.
The first time it did not come, and the second time I had to tell my teacher that, hey, this is very important. I told the significance, and for me too, this painting is like to me, this painting speaks of love, of purity, of
Yes.
strength. And I felt it was just the painting I was waiting for, to be shared for Thagatchari, because as you know, Thagatchari has been going on for some time, and I have been toying with different ideas. And I was like, when I saw this, I was like, no,
Mhm.
this is going to be the painting, and this is what, everybody who is being nominated as part of the show, is going to get this special card. So thank you for sharing that. All right, so moving on to the second part, in nominating someone from at the level of Manipur, because many a time, we have many people who are doing great work for Manipur, but it kind of get lost in the conflict news, and I just want to take a
Yes.
moment to appreciate them.
Yes. S- like something that really I find it really good to hear is about many entrepreneurial initiatives that's happening in Manipur. Initially, when I was growing up, like in the 90s and early 2000s, what people think as a livelihood is getting a government job, like getting a salaried job from the government, then your life is set. So there was no, maybe because I was quite unaware, but there was no, nothing like, having a career. If people talk about having a job, but people don't talk about having a career. Maybe this concept was not very common at that time. So you study and then you have a qualification and then you have a job and that's it. Whereas like the concept of career didn't really exist, but now I think because of the many efforts of so many young and talented minds in Imphal, that career, I can see like career coming into it. Say if you have a business, if you're setting up a business, it's your career. So when I was growing up, it seemed that like career is when up to your last qualification is your career, but that's not.
Mm,
Career starts after your qualification. So
mm,
when like it was a very wrong notion, or I was very unaware. Like when I was in that village, like where I grew up, it was your career is your academic career. That's the norm that I thought. But after
mhm,
getting a job, it seems like it almost felt like after getting you have to work hard only till getting the job, but after that you are set. That's kind of a very ignorant mindset I had. But now, as I travel around, and because I'm in a profession where you are like being examined every day here, like for your teaching, for your research outputs, for your research income, for external grants, for your research publications, for your research conferences, for your presentation. It's like my whole life is an examination every day at this point. So I felt that the career actually took off only after finishing my PhD. So the career
mhm,
starts there. So, and this concept I think is being given a lot of uh, getting a lot more attention in Imphal because of these entrepreneurial initiatives by a lot of people. So yeah, so I think that the person I want to nominate today is the founder of like this entrepreneur initiative, who's producing very nice tea from Imphal, and it goes by the brand Dweller for the Simple Joys. And I have the Haimang red tea in my
oh,
office
wow,
here.
you have it right there. You are all prepared. Wow.
No, I just thought about it now. I escaped for 2 seconds while you were not looking, and I just picked up from my from my other
Wow.
desk. So this is the Haimang tea. So her name is Eli Yambem. It turns out that we have the same surname, but it is not because of that I nominated you. But I'm truly thankful that you're giving a lot of jobs to a lot of people out there, and also you're promoting indigenous fruit and indigenous product. I have shared this tea to my neighbors, Sue and James Meyer, who are Australians, and they really like it. And I have also sent this to Japan to one of my friend whose name is also Monica. So she also said that this reminded her of her childhood time. She's not from Imphal, but the red tea that we have in the afternoon with lemon. So she said that this is a version of that where you don't need to put the lemon because it has the little light sourness in this already. So very good. And thank you for making this happen in Imphal.
Oh my God, I feel so ignorant and kind of embarrassed because
No, 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 please don't be. I found
I have not heard about this product. It's so bad. But now that you're sharing this, I'm
I
so
only got to
thankful.
know
It looks,
about
and the
this.
packaging looks so cool. Like, can you put it closer and maybe take a picture and share it later? Wow.
Sure.
I
Yes.
definitely would love to try this. So,
I got it
um,
from Manipur Times in Imphal, so I only found out from that because one of the person I said, "What's new?" because
yeah.
to the people who are selling things there, I walked in and said, "What's new?" because I go there every time, and they said that this is new.
Wow, that's
So
great. And thanks to Manipur
yes,
Times. Manipur Times is our partner who picks up our
yes,
content and share it. And, they're doing a great job in promoting local products, news, and everything. So big shout out for Manipur Times too. All right, so
indeed.
let's pull up and look up Dweller Tea. All right, so I have pulled up their website. And here
Yep.
it is. Wow. So they have like a lot of different flavor. Look at that.
Indeed, indeed. I
They
got
have
only the
lemongrass, ginger
yes,
tea. And what you
yes,
got is the Haimang red tea. Oh my God.
yes,
I have not, yeah, I haven't heard about this, but I'm so excited um, to know about it in today's gratitude show. So it is there in Uripok Yambem Laikai, and I am
yeah.
going to be surely going to try that product. So thank you so much for
You're very
sharing
welcome.
this. And okay, so this is the same website I have shared. But yeah, all right. Wow, this is so cool. All right, so that's what I love about this show because I have no idea what the
Mhm.
participant is going to be sharing, and it's so amazing to learn about all this new initiative and
Indeed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think they should be getting special attention, like the entrepreneurs. I mean, this is something that I know more about because I'm drinking the tea, but I'm sure that there are a lot of others, even in textiles and fashion. Like,
Mm-hmm,
I'm sure you have interviewed like Robert Naurem, like who
mm-hmm,
does so well in the fashion industry. And many times, like, I will flip in all the like designs that he has developed, and I'm always in awe of like all these things. And because of people like him and people like the Dwellers Tea, the founders of Dweller Tea, they're giving a lot of jobs to people around Imphal, and they also like have a career in a certain area. Like in the olden days, people will say, oh, "Peace, happy bukarino," like "Salon mi bukarino."
mm,
This people don't think of careers like in good ways, or they give like classes to careers, like they give like they attach a name and a status to all these things, but these people are great, these are amazing, and they are doing something that is out of the norm that no one had really done, at least in when I was growing up, and this
right.
is a great example.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you so much for sharing that. And now moving on to the last segment of our gratitude project, if you can share your nomination at the global level.
So the one person that I really admire these days is the Prime Minister of our neighboring country, New Zealand. Her name is Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. So the reason why I'm nominating her is that obviously she doesn't know me because she's the Prime Minister of a country, but she gives me great inspiration. She is the second prime minister in the world that gave birth while in office. So she has I think, a 9-month-old daughter. So she is a very young female, and she is leading the country. And she has great empathy for people in circumstances when it is very, very bad situations. Like there was a shootout in church. There was a shooting at a mosque, and so many people died because of that incident. And the way she handled everything, like I was in awe of it. And secondly, she's a female, and she's a leader. So I don't know why these days, when I'm in this profession, that in the academic profession, I see that I find trying to voice my opinion very strongly about promoting women a lot, because especially because people who take physics and continue physics in as a profession, females are very less in here out here as well. I don't know about India, but in my class there's lesser females than males. Even in engineering as well, there are very less females. And I admire very strong personalities and very successful female leaders, and she is a great example. At the moment, you can have your family, you can have your career, you can lead the country, you can have great empathy for people, and you can be kind, you can be all the good qualities, and at the same time you can be very successful in your career. So she is a role model for a lot of women at this point, I think. And I'm really in awe of her, of how she handles the situations. I don't think like she's much older than me, but so it's such a great quality to have. And yeah, so it's good to have great role models.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have seen some of her coverage as you were talking about.
Yes, I think
And
she's one of the world's favorite prime minister at this point.
yeah, yeah. And it's so, like you said, right? I mean, um, it is so inspiring to see women leaders coming up and
Yes, yes,
yeah, yeah. So thank you for that nomination.
you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for all your nomination. Is there anything else you would like to mention before we wrap up our show?
That I'm really looking forward to receiving my painting.
Yes, I am all set to ship it to you and then add, the additional
Thank you.
cards for you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and again, like I did try to tell Sonia that, hey, I'm going to paint you another better one because after she made me the offer, I was really embarrassed, like, oh my God, what is
Oh, no,
she going to talk about? But truly, who knows? That is my first painting, and I'm so happy that it would be in your house. So thank you so much.
yes. Thanks for
Thank
painting
you.
it. Yes, I want to mention this thing that when I was growing up, I was sent to this teacher, local teacher for painting. And the idea was that my dad thinks that it's very important for me to be able to have all round development, as in seeing the full picture. So when you paint something, say you're painting a scenery, then you want in the scenery a house, a tree, the sun. You put those three things. You want a river flowing next to it as well. You put the river. But that doesn't complete the picture. So if you draw only the things that you want, like the house, the tree, the sun, the river, but if you put only that in that picture, it's not complete. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That say you need all the complete picture, the surrounding, the grasses growing,
Hmm.
and then like the shadows, the birds maybe which is around, the flowers that is blooming. So when you paint a picture, I think that there are things that which gets ignored when you just glance through it, but when you actually paint it, you
Yeah.
actually see everything that needs to have this complete picture. So that was the one of the reason why my dad sent me to this art teacher, like to teach me art, because he said that even when you're studying physics or chemistry or maths, you will have a better understanding of, or you will start looking at small little things which plays a big role, but you don't really notice it when you are doing
Yeah.
just focusing on the big things. So I think that you are a great painter because you have this personality in you to be able to, you're compassionate, you are, of course, you are intelligent, and you are very successful professional. But to be able to come up with initiatives like this, or to be able to touch at people's hearts, and to be able to speak to people without any inhibitions or without making them feel awkward, I think it's a great personality. And I don't know why, but I attribute it to your painting because it makes you see the little things that complete the big picture. And I think, like, yeah, that makes you a much like better person.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I never looked it from that angle. Painting is something new. Like you talk about your rituals as your meditation. I think for
Yeah,
me, painting is my flow.
yeah.
And I have been painting for a while, but it really elevated when my father was not well and when I used to
Mm-hmm,
visit him. I found
mm-hmm,
that, while sitting next to him, right, and then I know that he would rest peacefully
mm-hmm,
or sleep, better if I'm next to him. At the very
mm-hmm,
short time when I would visit and I was sitting next to his bed, but then he's
mm-hmm.
sleeping. So I'm like, okay, what do I do now, right? So that's when I just actually started painting, and I really
Yeah,
love it. And so now it has like reached a little bit, I guess, level because I'm investing a lot of my time, energy going for classes
yes,
and things like that. So
yeah.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for making me part of your show.
Yeah, yeah, and you're doing great things and physicist and a lot of cool stuff, and I'm sure
I'm only
you
at the
would
start of
be.
my career.
Yeah, which is why you would be coming more to our show, with more initiatives, and hopefully we will talk again. So
I would
to
love to.
before Yeah, before we end the show, I want to share the page for palliative care. All right, so this is the page I have created for
Mm-hmm.
palliative care, capturing some of the pictures. And as you can see right now, I have to update couple more, but we are almost there with our goal.
Oh,
These are the
wow.
paintings. Yeah, yeah, people have been
Well
very generous.
done.
And this is the painting what Sonia had is it's going to be hanging in Sonia's house. And let's see. Oh yeah, so this is the picture which you had taken when you had gone to Manipur.
Yes.
Again, a group picture here. Uh, So yeah, so these are actually right now there are 26 people who have supported, and I have been using my painting, and I have made greeting cards from the
Okay.
painting, and people have been very supportive. So thank you to everyone. And as you can see, there is a little bit of gap over here. And before I go to Manipur, I want to complete this. So if you're interested, feel free to come to my website and go to fundraising, and there are different option wherein you can get the greeting card. All right. So, okay. So I think that was such a wonderful session with you. I really, really enjoyed our conversation. So thank you for taking the time. I love your energy. I love your work. So keep doing what you're doing. And I hope to meet you in person someday.
Come to Australia. It's a great country.
Yeah, I will. I will. I love traveling. So obviously I have to come there someday.
And thank you for having me again on this show. Thank you again. And it's really wonderful to chat to you in not in person exactly, but like face to
Yeah.
face like this for the first time
Yeah.
after the many WhatsApp and Instagram conversations we have had.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
great to be on your show. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is listening. And again, this is your show. So I want you to come up, over here, talk to me, share about yourself, share about who you are inspired by, and let's fill our community with Thagatchari and, give a smile to someone. And everybody in this show is going to get this card. So I really would want to welcome all of you to come and participate in this show. And my target is to have 1001 people. And, we are really in the early phase. We are, I think, at 20 something. So definitely do think about, who you want to nominate and come to our show. Thank you. Bye
Thanks
bye.
again. Bye bye.
Yeah.